You're in a meeting, someone gives you feedback, and before they finish, before you know what they said, your chest tightens. The heat rises up your neck, and your hands clutch under the table. Anger. But you can't be angry, not here, not now. So you smile, nod, and say thank you for your input. And the anger doesn't leave, it sits there, stored, waiting. A week later, you snap at your partner over dishes. Most people think that's the problem, the anger, the reaction. I'm going to show you it's not. Here's what we're going to cover in this module: why your emotions aren't the problem, but your interpretation of them is, how anger, sadness, and fear are each delivering specific data about unmet needs, and why people who suppress these emotions make worse decisions than the people who feel them. This isn't about processing feelings or expressing yourself, this is about translation. Every emotion is coded, a signal from your body telling you something specific about what's missing. Most people never learn the language. They spend their lives reacting to sirens they can't decode. Let's fix that. Here's what nobody tells you about emotions: they're not threats, they're not problems to solve, they're not even really yours. They're data. Your body is a sensory array. It's consistently scanning your environment for boundary violations, unmet needs, threats to your safety, and signals of loss. When it detects something, it sends a signal. That signal is what you feel. The problem isn't the signal. The problem is we were never taught the code. So, when anger shows up, we think I'm bad. When sadness comes, we think I'm weak. When fear comes, we think I'm broken. And then we do what anybody does with a signal they can't decode: we ignore it, suppress it, numb it, which is like hearing a fire alarm and deciding the problem is the noise. In Module 1, you mapped your hidden need, the thing your self sabotage was protecting. Now you need to know your emotions are the delivery system of that very information. They are not the enemy, they are the messenger. Let me show you what each emotion is actually telling you. Anger, the boundary detector. Anger isn't aggression. Aggression is what happens when you ignore the anger. Anger shows up when a boundary has been crossed. Something unjust is happening. You need to mobilize. It's not telling you to attack, it's telling you something here needs to change. People who suppress anger don't become peaceful, they become resentful. Because anger doesn't disappear when you ignore it, it just stops being useful. Instead of mobilizing you to set a boundary, it turns into chronic bitterness about boundaries you never set. The translation: what limit do I need to establish? What action do I need to take? Sadness, the loss indicator. Sadness is the correct response to loss: loss of a person, loss of a timeline you imagined, loss of who you thought you were. Sadness isn't depression. Depression is what happens when sadness gets stuck, when you don't allow it to move through you in waves. Sadness needs release, not once, multiple times, over weeks, months, and sometimes even years. People who suppress sadness don't get over it fast, they just postpone the processing. And postponed grief doesn't evaporate, it accumulates. The translation: what am I grieving? What do I need to let go of? Fear, the future projector. Here's the tricky one. Fear shows up in two forms. First, instinctive fear. It's immediate, present in the moment danger. This is rare and useful. The second one is imagined fear, which is projected danger about a future that doesn't exist yet. This is chronic and paralyzing. Most of what we call fear is actually projected loss of control. We imagine if X happens, I won't be able to handle it. So we try to control the X, plan for X, avoid X entirely, and the fear still keeps growing. Because here's what fear actually wants: acceptance. The translation: what am I trying to control that I can't? What would happen if I let go? For years, I thought I was good at managing emotions. I didn't yell, I didn't cry in public, I stayed calm. But what I was actually doing was delaying the signal until I was alone. Then it would come out as binge eating at night, picking fights over nothing, sleeping through the entire weekends, and I wasn't managing my emotions. I was just rerouting them. And the rerouted emotions did not disappear. They just found other outlets. One day, that changed. I was angry at someone and justifiably angry. And instead of suppressing it until I could process it later, I asked myself the question: what is this telling me that I need? The answer? A boundary. One I had been avoiding for months. I said that, and the anger left immediately. Not because I expressed it, but because I translated it and acted on the information. So, how do you actually do this? Step 1: name the signal. Don't say, I feel bad. Say, I feel angry, or I feel sad, or I feel fear. Specificity activates translation. Step 2: ask the decoder question. Each emotion has a specific question. Anger: what boundary needs to be set? Sadness: what am I grieving? Fear: what am I trying to control? Don't answer immediately. Sit with the question and let your body respond. Step 3: separate signal from noise. Here's how you know if it's a real signal or an intrusive thought. Real signals are calm, even if uncomfortable, specific to the present moment, quiet, easy to miss, and action oriented. Whereas intrusive thoughts are loud, urgent, and panicked, about the future, spiraling, repetitive, and paralyzing. If it's screaming, it's not your instinct. It's your fear pretending to be your instinct. Step 4: take the smallest action. You don't need to solve the emotion, you need to honor the data. If it's anger, set one boundary. If it's sadness, allow one wave of grief. If it's fear, release control of one thing. The emotion will de escalate. Not because you performed catharsis, but because you acted on the information. Next time an emotion shows up, and it will, do this. Notice where you felt it: chest, stomach, throat. Name it specifically. Not stressed, not upset, anger, sad, afraid. Ask the decoder question. Then take the smallest possible action on that answer. You will notice something. The emotion doesn't fight you, it doesn't need to. It delivered its message. You translated it, you acted. The signal can stop now. This is what people with high emotional intelligence do differently. They don't feel less, they don't suppress better, they translate faster. Quick question: what emotion have you been treating as a threat when it's actually data? Drop it in the comments. Is it anger, sadness, fear? Name it. That's the first step. Here's the thing about emotions: they're not attacking you, they are trying to help you. Every single one of them is a messenger, carrying information about what you need, what you have lost, and what needs to change. When you treat them as threats, suppress them, ignore them, numb them, the signal gets louder. Not because you're broken, but because the message wasn't received. So it keeps transmitting louder, longer, until you can't ignore it anymore. This is not a malfunction, it's by design. Your body's trying to keep you alive, not comfortable, alive. And sometimes staying alive means setting a boundary, grieving a loss, releasing control. The emotions are just showing you which one. You can spend your life fighting the signals, or you can learn the language. Most people never do, but you can. And to help you through this, I have built a workbook for this module. It is called the Emotion Interpreter Plus Response Protocol. It walks you through how to identify which emotion you're actually feeling, the specific decoder questions for each signal, a decision tree for separating instinct from intrusive thoughts, real time translation practice for the next 7 days. The link is in the description below, and for the first 24 hours, it's at a discounted price, so don't forget to grab it. And if you're starting to realize you've been fighting the signals instead of translating them, start here. And as usual, don't forget to subscribe to our channel as we continue this journey of self growth with more videos coming in every week.